Graphing a system of two linear inequalities. Basic. Graph the solution to the following system of inequalities. Y is less than negative 2x minus 5, and y is less than or equal to 4x minus 3. Now, the first step usually when we're graphing inequalities is to solve for y. However, we see here that both of these inequalities already have y isolated on one side. So now we just have to graph them as though they were linear equations to start with. So we're going to use the slope and the intercept of each line. I'm going to use two different colors so you can see this. So the second one will be red and the first one will be black. Looking at the black equation here, I see that my slope is negative 2, or negative 2 over 1, because my slope is always the number attached to the x. It's always the coefficient of x. Now my intercept is going to be negative 5, because the intercept is always the constant. So let's begin by graphing the first one. I always start with my starting point, which is my y-intercept. So on my y-axis here, I'm going to go down to negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And put a point. Now from this starting point, I'll count my slope, which is negative 2 over 1. So I'm going to go down 2 for negative 2 and over 1 to the right for positive 1. Down 2, over 1 to the right. Now I can also start at my starting point and go backwards, which means up 2, backwards to the left 1. Up 2, backwards 1, up 2, backwards 1, again and again and again. I can see my line here beginning to form. Now I need to decide if this line is going to be dashed or solid. Here I see that my inequality symbol is strictly less than. So because it won't include this line in the solution, I'm going to make a dashed line. So I'm going to line it up just as if I was going to draw a line, but instead I'm only going to do tick marks. So we can see my dashed line. Now I need to shade. Y is less than negative 2x minus 5. Now for some of you, you can tell which of this is less than. But if you can't, here's a tip. Imagine a little dude climbing a mountain right here. If he's climbing a mountain, the ground or the mountain on this side is going to be less than him because it's below him. The sky, which is going to be on this side, is going to be greater than him. So if y is less than this line, which created our mountain, we're going to shade less than him, below him, or on the ground. So there's my first inequality. In order to do my second, I follow the same process. My slope is my coefficient of x, or the number attached to the x, and that's 4, or 4 over 1. My intercept is negative 3, because that's the constant. Again, I start with my intercept. That's my starting place. So I go on the y-axis down to negative 3, and I put a dot. Now I count my slope. I go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 for positive 4, and over 1 to the right for a positive 1. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. And I can also go backwards on this one by going down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and backwards 1. Again, I can see my line beginning to form. Now I need to decide if this one will be solid or dashed. Here I have that y is less than or equal to, which means this line, 4x minus 3, is included in the solution because y could exactly equal that. So we're going to draw a solid line to include the line in our solution. So there's our line. Now we just have to decide which direction to shade it. Again, y is less than. So if I imagine someone climbing this mountain, here's a mountain. The sky for this guy is over here, which means this is greater than him because the sky is above him. The ground is over here, which means it's less than him. So if y is less than that, the area I shade is below him, or on the mountain, on the ground. So the solution to the whole system of inequalities is this space right here where they both overlap. And that's all you need to do.